My name is Benedict Olumhense. I'm the founder of the International Game Developers Association Nigerian Chapter.
And how big is the Nigerian games industry?
All right, so Newzoo does a market survey, and they rated the Nigerian games industry as $172 million strong.
Yeah.
And we are mainly focused on mobile, and not a varied market. It's just local people developing games on the mobile platform.
And how many people are members of the International Games Developers Association?
So we are a little community, but we're growing. I'll put that at 20 because I do not have regular feedback figures for now, but I'll put that at 20 people.
Okay, and how many games companies are there at the moment?
So at the moment, we'll say there are about like 4 or 5. We were 8 before, but a couple of them have come and gone. Koluya belongs to that group that no longer exists.
Yeah.
But at the moment, Malio first went out of business, but they are back. And now we have Chop Up Mobile, who were Pledge 51 before, but now rebranded to Chop Up Mobile. We have Sunbeam Games, and we have Aboki Shop, who just released the title last year called Babalawo First Chronicle.
And what is that title about?
So that is a title based on a myth whereby you had medicine men who bridge the gap between the evil realm and a godly realm, I'll say per se. And they go around the cities and towns fighting the evil spirits that disturb people in the whole area. So the game is basically built around that concept.
And what are the barriers that exist that are stopping games developers from being more successful in Nigeria?
All right, so we have education, which is the first barrier, because most of our universities are not actually building the abilities actually in the next set of graduates that come out. So a lot of game companies are self-taught, and it takes them a while for them to understand the nuances of the industry from where it is to where they need to be in future. And so education...
It's also a complex mix of skills, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's not just coding.
Exactly. So you have art development, you have music development, you also have programming and qualitative stories to put there.
And there's also finance raising issue, isn't there?
Yes. So many on a global scale, many developer communities and development companies are actually self-funded to build their games. In Nigeria, we don't have that capacity in terms of finance. So a lot of them have to rely on first venture capital funding before they start getting their feet to actually develop proper games, and then can rely on their own raised finances. But because we are so focused on mobile, we haven't started playing in a lot of spaces on this.
And why is it, do you think, that people have paid relatively little attention to those other platforms?
Well, I would say the availability of those platforms in our economy and in our environment is not yet there. Console is not still strong. We have PC, but people don't develop on PCs. The revenue for PC development and PC revenues are not clear cut, right? So, but you still have to rely on a couple of other traditional means like merchandising and direct retail to sell a couple of things for progress.
And what are the barriers to, in a sense, that's capital, but what are the barriers to raising revenue?
Well, for revenue, I would say what happens globally is that game development is quite a difficult business, right? Venture capitalists will actually tell you that you should come up with a business plan, a solid business plan, and for them to actually say, so that they can see where you're going with that, how you're spending their money. But a lot, because this is creative business, is not clear cut to say where where the money is going to or how the money is going to be spent.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that need to go back to drawing boards, right, and come up with better quality, better storylines.
Yeah.
And so
it's more like filmmaking.
exactly, it's more like filmmaking. And between filmmaking, music making, you really can't say this title is going to generate so and so, because you do not know. I would say it's more like of
but there are structural problems, aren't there? Like revenue share.
Exactly. Revenue share is also big, where you have on the content side distribution on mobile networks, where they take 30% from you from the network. Though that I'm not sure that has changed over the time. Maybe it has changed now. So you have sort of those problems at the moment.
How many people are actually playing games in Nigeria?
I wouldn't say Nigeria alone. I'll take the Middle East and Africa, because Newzoo does do their classification for that. So I'll put that at 2.1 billion people between the Middle East and Africa. For Nigeria, we don't have clear figures, but just on revenue basis, of course, they still have the $172 million valuation they've given Nigerian market.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what's the future, do you think, for the Nigerian game industry?
Well, we're growing. We're not yet there yet. A couple of global companies are recognizing us at the moment.
You've had Gameloft, haven't you?
Gameloft is around. Also, Unity, which are actually a game engine, have just opened up their program to Nigeria. So as at 2 days ago, they started the Unity certification program, and that has just been launched for Nigerian market as well. Also for the African market, they're trying to see how the game engine does well in the African market. Also, I know of IGN, which are actually a media company, and they've actually launched their own, but they are in South Africa, right? So you have IGN in South Africa. Others are coming, but we don't know how soon they will come, but they are coming.